Jane Logie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to take a short call on behalf of the Greens on the Shop Trading Hours Amendment Bill. And while recognising that this is a personal vote, the Green Party members, I understand, will all be voting against this bill. The reasons, I think, have been outlined fairly consistently across the opposition members in this House, that this bill is bad for children, it's bad for families, it's bad for workers, and it's bad for local government. And while some of us may see shopping as a religion, I suspect the previous speaker seemed to elevate shopping to the status of a religion. Actually, some of us believe that there's a value in taking a break sometimes, and maybe 3.5 days in a year is not too excessive in terms of taking a break from shopping and focusing on family and guaranteeing that there's an opportunity to spend that time together. And I've heard some of the other members saying, yes, but while the opposition says that it's about family bonding, well, you know, what if your family wants to bond by doing the gardening together or doing some DIY? Well, strange, my family, I don't know, we have the ability to plan ahead and go shopping the day before. I don't know if that's too extreme a suggestion, but it seems possible to me that you could plan ahead and shop the day before and be able to engage in those same activities together as a family on Easter Sunday. So I do want to, as the local government spokesperson for the Green, I think it would be a bit remiss for me not to talk about some of those specifics and why we oppose this bill, which really, it does seem to me there have been so many attempts to get this legislation through that have been unsuccessful. And I guess there's been lobbying and discussions that have been happening within the National Party caucus of those who are proponents of this bill to see what they may be able to get past the consciences of their members to be able to pass to liberalise this trade, because it's so failed, my understanding, 9 times similar legislation in this House. And so it seems that the point that the National Party has got to is, well, this House won't make the decision. We'll give the decision to local government so that your consciences, those MPs on that side, their consciences can be free, those opposed to Sunday trading, because you can just say it's a local government decision, even though the end result may well, in many of the areas that you live or have connections to, be the same as what you would have opposed initially. And you will be putting further burden, financial and regulatory or responsibility burdens, on local councils who time and time again tell central government that they are sick of being given further responsibilities without an increase to their funding base, that already the burden of responsibility and regulation versus funding is out of whack and they are overburdened. It does not make sense to put employment legislation or shop trading hours on to local governments, and they would be required to initiate a consultation process, hear submissions, institute hearings and deliberate in the same way that Parliament does. And that is a costly exercise. That is not cost-free, and so many of our councils are struggling to be able to fulfil their regulatory legal obligations as it is. And I don't think it makes sense to add another thing onto those burden onto those councils, particularly for the smaller councils. And while the members there seem to reference the businesses and the tourists coming in, what about the local members of that community? And if you're going to say, well, they'll be keen on this, then there needs to be a consultation and a rigorous one to make sure that they are. And that is going to be costly. And every time we've heard the legislation discussed at the national level, that has not been the mood of the public. The public has not been telling us they want to shop more, that they can't have this day free of shopping, that it will just completely destroy their lives to have more time spent with their families away from retail work. The Green Party believes that our families can do the least we can do for our families
is let them keep this time together. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Sue Moroney.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, they say rust never sleeps, and this bill coming back before the House just shows how true that actually is, because it's the National Party attacking family time again. Family time under attack by this national government, because today they're actually